Good evening, I'm Brianna Baylog with your TV6 Fastcast updates. A Clinton community food drive brought in over 50 bicyclists to participate in their annual Cranksgiving fundraiser. As TV6's Solomon Ledvinka explains, organizers wanted to make a fun activity while helping out others in need.
The weather is perfect and the community of Clinton is ready to ride off on their annual Cranksgiving scavenger hunt to raise money and collect non-perishables for the Pantries United Food Bank.
A crisp 50 degrees for 50 bicyclists to throw on their turkey attire and hit the community of Clinton on a scavenger hunt to buy 10 non-perishable food items. The event began in 2009 and is a fun way to get the community involved for a great cause.
Thankful for everyone that comes to support out of all sorts of ages, all sorts of different people, whether you bike or not. It's one of those things that it just gets people out. My friends that have kind of came on in the last, let's say, 3-4 years, everyone wants to kind of get involved and try to pitch in wherever they can.
The bicyclists started at Deanna's Java Cafe, and with their kickstands propped up, they were off. The goal is to find one item from 10 different stops, with all those items being donated to the food bank.
And a couple of years ago, we changed it a little bit. Instead of requiring everybody to make 10 stops, they could eliminate 5 stops by donating $5 per stop that they eliminated. So using the same amount of dollars spent, but having it go further.
For some of the riders, it was their first time. For Doug Larson, this was his second Cranksgiving.
It's a good charity for our local area. It's a fun ride for the group. The weather's decent today. Past years have been a little chilly, so this is our second, my wife and I are doing it. It's our second time to do it, and it's a good time. We have a blast.
Non-perishables can still be dropped off here at Deanna's Java Cafe at 1015 13th Avenue North in Clinton. All proceeds will go to the Pantries United Food Bank to help families during this holiday season. In Clinton, Iowa, Solomon Ledvinka, TV6 News.
For more information on the food drive and how you could help, we've included the Cranksgiving link on our news app and website. Happening right now, the Gray Matters Collective and Foster's Voice are hosting the 2023 Starry Night Gala at the Waterfront Convention Center in Bettendorf. The event is a fundraiser for the Foster Cares Fund, which gives financial assistance to those looking for mental health treatment or therapy. Tonight's event will feature guest speaker Kevin Hines, a global advocate for suicide prevention. Last year, the gala was able to raise over $40,000. And after a cold start to the week, it's warmed up to be a nice fall-like weekend. Meteorologist Kyle Dickens has a look at our full First Alert forecast.
From the First Alert Forecast Center, I'm meteorologist Kyle Dickens. Beautiful day today. It feels a lot different than what it did just a few days ago. That weather roller coaster ride, especially on our temperatures, continues. Hard to believe that here on the 24th, this is 12 days. So in the last 12 days, we've had just about everything. We were 20 degrees above average with 81 as a high. We get to this back half. Yeah, look at that. The coldest, 37 degrees there, 21 degrees below average. But look at this. Last 2 days at 58 and 57, we're running about a degree above average now. So that's going to continue on. We're going to have a really nice warm stretch here for the next several days. Tonight, seasonal night ahead, very close to our average. As we get to the day tomorrow, warmer day into the 60s. Next week, we could approach even the 70s for some of our hometowns. But it's going to come at the cost of some rain and some cooler weather on the back end of that. We'll talk about that here in a second. You can see clouds kind of moving about, and that's going to kind of be the thing for the rest of the day today into tomorrow. Just some cloud cover. Not really looking at any precipitation chances now. Now, as we get into Sunday, we build some more cloud cover, and it'll be more of a partly sunny day. We got to watch this. Exact track starting to pick up on some rain shower activity moving in Sunday night into Monday morning. We have to watch that. Possibility is there, but that should move out by the morning hours, and we will clear out. And again, we're looking for Monday to be one of our warmest days. Now, a couple systems possible. We're kind of on the edge Tuesday, Wednesday of a system where it looks right now more prog towards the north, but we could get into some of that. Same deal on the latter half of the week. We got a system to the south, so we're kind of in between systems next week, but there are going to be some spotty rain chances in our forecast nonetheless. Tonight, dropping into the 30s, about average for this time of year, mid-30s, but quickly climbing as we approach the 60s and maybe just above. To the north, a little bit cooler, but look at down to the south into the mid-60s. So that is certainly welcomed temperatures, no doubt about that. Now look at this. Monday morning, as you head out to work and school, starting the day off at 59 degrees, which is our typical high. So again, that pendulum swings back and forth. We're now heading for an uphill slide on our temperatures and could approach easily in some of our hometowns. I think we get to that 70-degree mark to the south, a little bit closer to that mid-60s, upper 60s mark here to the middle in metro and to the north as well into the mid to low 60s. Now, temperature trend is holding steady on this warmer pattern here, at least through the next couple days. But as we get into the latter half of next week, we do start trending downward. Models starting to really drop temperatures here towards next weekend. Definitely more average as we get to that back half of the weekend, but as far as big cold spells like we just saw, nothing really in the next 10 days that looks possible. 6 to 10 day outlook, in fact, from the Climate Prediction Center has us right about on par for this time of year, so that's some good news. Precipitation wise, maybe just a little bit drier, as again, we're kind of going to be in between systems as we go into next week. Now, here's your 7-day forecast. Tomorrow, 62 degrees. Again, we got to watch maybe some shower chances Sunday night into Monday morning. So watch for that. 67 though. It's gonna be a nice day on Monday temperature wise with some clouds lingering on. PM rain shower chances with 59 cooler degrees. Look, 56 is the average high for this time of year. Once we get into Wednesday though, we start that cooling process. Thursday 48 degrees, 50 on Friday, and down to 47. A little bit cooler than average once we get to Saturday.
Our days of daylight saving time are running low. We fall back to standard time overnight tonight. Kyle Keel explains why the time change ever got started and how things would look different if we didn't.
Love it or loathe it, the United States observes daylight saving time, and it comes to an end this Sunday. It's when 2 a.m. becomes 1 a.m. and we turn our analog clocks back 1 hour. Daylight saving time ending or beginning is also a good time to test your smoke alarms and carbon monoxide detectors and change the batteries if needed. For some of us, it means an extra hour of sleep. It also means earlier sunrises and sunsets. The sunrise on Sunday will occur at 6:38, with the sunset coming just before 5 p.m. Daylight saving time was first introduced in the United States back in 1918 as a way to make use of more sunlight during the spring and summer months and to help save energy. It was made a standard practice in the U.S. in the 1960s. In March 2022, the U.S. Senate voted to end the biannual changing of the clocks. However, the House of Representatives could not agree on whether to keep standard time or have a permanent daylight saving time year-round. Daylight saving time stands in most states today, with the exception of Arizona, Hawaii, and 5 U.S. territories. If it were to become permanent, here's what it would do to the latest sunrise across the United States. Each color on the map depicts a different time. Some parts of the U.S. wouldn't see a sunrise until after 9 or 10 o'clock. Here at home, the sun wouldn't come up until after 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning. For now, we stick to what we've known for decades and observe the time change. Kyle Keel, TV6 News.
Veterans Day is coming up next Saturday, November 11th, and the Rock Island National Cemetery on the Arsenal has announced plans for their annual ceremony. The ceremony will start at 1 p.m. at Committal Shelter 2. This year's keynote speaker is Colonel Ronnie Anderson Jr., commander of the Joint Munitions Command. The ceremony will also feature a wreath laying honoring salute and taps. And that's all for your TV6 Fastcast updates. But coming up tonight on your news at 10, more rallies taking place in the Quad Cities calling for a ceasefire in Gaza. How community members on both sides are reacting to the latest developments in the war. And many of our Illinois high school football teams still looking for a state championship. We'll have all the highlights from today's playoff matches. That's all for now. Have a great evening, Quad Cities.